welcome to another edition of Ibis Technology Business Briefings. My name is John Shoemaker, and for today's briefing, we're going to share with you how to access Ibis online reporting. If you've been hesitating about using the new online reports, this webinar is for you. Before we start, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you can't see some of the reports that we're showing today on the Ibis system, it's possible that they may not be enabled in your profile. So if that's the case, just call our friendly support staff at help@ibis.co.nz or give us a call and they'll change the profile and make them available for you. Okay? So one of the first things that we need to do when accessing Ibis online reports is, how do you access it? Well, there are a couple ways. One is to go into your Ibis application and click in the upper left-hand corner on the Ibis logo, and you'll see a drop-down, and that'll get you to Ibis online reports. And then the other way is to just do it online. So you can create a bookmark and just go to online.ibisres.com and enter in your credentials. The demo ops shown on the screen here will be replaced by your server name that has your database, and you're good to go. So let's dig in and see what this looks like. So let me switch over to my screen here for just a second. And there we go. Bear with me for a moment. Okay, so when you click on Ibis Online Reports or you access it via URL, you'll see a web browser like this. And the first point I want to make is that because it's in a web browser, you can access this from any device, right? You can get to it from your phone or a pad, an iPad, or a Macintosh, anything that can access a web browser. You can access your online reports with. So let's take a quick look. So Ibis Online is Ibis's cloud system. Over time, we're going to be adding more functionality here, and eventually you'll be able to do most, if not all, functions within Ibis here. Today, we're going to focus on reporting. So we're interested in this menu here called Reports. So if we click on it, you'll see the first level of filtering that occurs. We've filtered reports by sort of department or operational area. So let's take a look at some ticketing sales reports. So if you're an agent, so I'm accessing a agent login here. I'm going to go to ticket sales and take a look at that. This will serve as a good backdrop for just sort of getting you oriented into the screen. So here's my ticket sales screen. What we've done here is we've created a default report for you that has the data elements we think you need and oriented it in a way that we think is very readable. Now, you have full flexibility to change this around, and we'll go through that in just a minute. First of all, let me explain some of the options that you have available to you. Up here is our date range. When you click on that, you can access various date ranges as well as put in your own custom range. You can, in particular reports, have other drop-downs. Like in this case, it asks, do you want to see things by sale date or by product date? You can choose to show things tax inclusive or exclusive. You can export your reports to PDF, Excel, and comma-separated values. We hope to add additional export capabilities, perhaps to Google Drive and Google Sheets in the future. And there are, in many cases, various views of reports that you can see, and they would be in this drop-down here. And you'll see, we'll go through how you can save your own report once you modify an existing one. You can save it and it'll appear in this drop-down as well. You can view reports as lists, which is the view that we're looking at now. It's more like a spreadsheet view, or as a table. So the table view is kind of interesting in that it's a little bit more like pivot tables in Excel, if you're familiar with that. We have a variety of fields that you can drag and drop into different areas and see your data referenced. So in this case, for example, let's take a look at, just to show you how these fields and everything works, let's take a look at I had a bit of reporting for a custom range here. I'm going to go back to June, and I'm going to say June 1st to June 30th. I'll refresh, see if we've got some data. Yep, we sure do. And so, one of the things that we can do, for example, is that we can limit the data that we see. So in this case, we can use the filter function here to say, nope, I don't want to see everything. So I'll deselect that and say, nope, I only want to see tandem skydiving. Immediately, the list is narrowed down to just the item that you want to filter against, and you can see that. And perhaps I don't need to see commission data, so I can move that back up. That's how these fields work. Commission data is now eliminated. And let me see, perhaps I want to see both product and maybe by region. So I'm just going to play around here, and we can see that, okay, the region that's been selected for this particular tandem skydive is in the Queenstown area. Anyway, the point is you can vary these fields in and out, play around with them, and see what they do, and then you can save your current view, and you give it a name. If you want to delete an existing report, you can say delete on save, and it'll take it away. That view will be available to you in to you and the rest of your organization, and only you can delete it, but other people can view it, so they can take advantage of the reports that you've created. So let's go to an operator side view here, and let's try something a little bit more ambitious. So here's an example where a client was looking to set up various levels of reporting within the accounts module. The aim was to be able to look at overall revenue figures from wholesalers, both domestic and international, and then drill down into the wholesale regions, and finally, going one step further, reporting by account. So how would we do that? Well, let me show you. So here's a quick way to look at that. So we got into reports. In this case, we want the reservation summary report. So we selected that. There it is. I'm going to choose, again, I have some sample data here in the month of June. So let me get there. So June 1st to June 30. We'll refresh our data. There we go. And in this case, we're really not looking for product. We're looking for account groupings, right? We want to see what the wholesale account group is doing, and then the accounts underneath that. So I'm going to take product and just move it back up, and we bring account group 1 down and see what we get. All right, here we get our account groupings, and wholesale is what we want. So let me filter just by that. So I'll deselect all of the other choices. I just want to see by wholesale. Click OK. And then I need my second account group. Well, gosh, that one's not up here. So what do I do? Right-click on any one of these fields, and you get some additional choices. One is to show the full field list. So we have additional fields available to us in this particular report that aren't up on the screen here. In this case, we want account group 2. So I'm going to bring that down and pop it right in there. So now it gives us our wholesale accounts, wholesale by region. We're still missing our final piece of data, which is the ability to drill down by account. Well, that field is right there. So let me bring that down. Oops, missed a little. Look for the little arrows there to indicate that it's going to drop in. And there we go. So suddenly we have our report, gives us our wholesale information by region, and then down to by account. If I wanted to, again, I could export this to do some further manipulation. I can certainly save it, right? So let's call this our wholesale report. There we are. And now it's available on our list. So It's as easy as that to create your reports and manipulate them. A couple final notes on this report. If you like this particular one, you can select date ranges at any time without resetting the entire saved report. The commission rates, like in this example, won't be available until you've posted to invoice. So be aware of that. You'll have to reset the filters if you add additional wholesale categories later. So so if you happen to change that, be aware that the report at that point would change. If you want to delete this report, you can do that by selecting delete on save, as I mentioned earlier. And you can only delete your own views, not other people's saved views. So there's some protection there. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that this ability to report on this data only works if you're already gathering this data. In this case, what we've done, and let me show you visually here. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, go back to our presentation, and share a little bit of the screen here, which is the accounts list screen. Notice that what we've done here is we've started to track information. So we've created account groupings where we track that information so that we can report on it. So be aware and think a little bit about what is the data that you need for your reports, and ensure that you've configured Ibis to track that information so that you can use it to your advantage in the future. All right, that's it for today's reporting webinar. If you have further questions, check out our helpful knowledge base, which is always available from the Ibis application under the Ibis logo by selecting Help and then Knowledge Base. You'll find reporting under the topic Ibis Online, or contact our friendly staff by emailing support@ibis.co.nz. In the meantime, I encourage you to have a play around. You're not going to hurt anything, and you just might find some insights about your business that'll surprise you. Thanks for joining me today. To find out more about our webinars, visit our website at ibis.co.nz. And this is John saying, have a great day.